Okay, here we go. Our watercolor project part 2. So hopefully last week you got your image drawn, and it helps before you start your image to outline it with something. Like I said, with like a Sharpie, you outline your pencil lines. Otherwise your pencil lines kind of get hidden in your drawing. It's just a suggestion that I have, but you don't have to do it. So you decide. I did change my image. After looking at my drawing last week, I wanted to enlarge it. I wasn't happy with it. If you guys want to change your image, you absolutely can. If you find something else that's done with watercolor that you want to try and just use these different techniques with, I am definitely okay with that. So what I did with this one is I just stuck with the tulip theme. I did a quick drawing of the outside edges of my tulips, and then in the background, remember last week we went over all of those watercolor techniques, or I shouldn't say last week, when we were in school we were working on our different watercolor techniques. So we did just your straight wash, we did the dropping colors on wet paper, we did the lifting, which is a really wet paint, and then you take a paper towel or something and you lift it up. We did the salt, the wet on wet, so you wet the paper and then you apply wet paint and it just kind of flows. We did a little color blending. We did the scratching, where you actually scratch the paper and put a design into it. And then we did that plastic wrap. So you get a really wet surface and then you put a little plastic wrap on it. And then with that one you do have to let it dry, and then once it's dry you peel that off. So you guys pick. You can do one technique, you can do 3, you can do as many as you want. It's up to you for your painting. So do whatever you are comfortable with. So with this one right now, I did the salt in the background. So I wet my paper a little bit and I dropped some colors on it. And I want to show you that too. My palette, some of you might not have been able to grab a watercolor palette when we went to school. I sent most of you home with one. But if you didn't get it, I just experimented with some food coloring. So I put like a tablespoon of water in an egg carton, and then I just dropped food coloring. And now I'm taking the primary colors and I'm mixing my own colors on this side. And then if I want the color lighter or darker, I just add more water or less water to condense it. So if I wanted like my darker values in there. So I'll just show you what I'm doing with my wet on wet for the petals. Oops, that was my
salt.
So I'm just going to add a little bit of water. And a lot of this, just keep in mind, we are not watercolor experts. Watercolor is one of those mediums that takes a long time to get comfortable with. So take it easy on yourself. Do what you can. Do what you're comfortable with. If you make a mistake, remember, you can always, maybe you put too much color down or it's not quite what you wanted. You can always lift it up a little bit to get rid of any color that you might not want there. I do want that there, so I'm going to put it back. Lifting was also kind of a technique. So by applying a little bit of water, wet on wet first, it allows it to run around my petal and make it really soft looking. So that's what I wanted for my petals. And it doesn't have to be realistic unless you want it to look realistic. So your colors can be completely different. If I wanted my tulip to be in grayscale, I could do that. But I kind of like this color combination. And if you don't like where the color goes with the water and the wet on wet, you can just pick it up a little bit, move it around, let it dry a little, go back to it. Kind of move it around while it's still wet. So I'm just going to finish my tulip with those colors, and then maybe after it dries a little bit I could add a little bit more detail But have fun with it. Hope you're able to find some colors. Hope you're able to find a brush. That might be interesting. If you don't have a brush, you could use like a Q-tip or a piece of paper towel possibly, like rolling it up, and just something that can hold the water, and you can transfer water and color from your paper to the what you might have available. If you don't have food coloring and you don't have watercolors, maybe you could try like Kool-Aid. Mixing a really condensed Kool-Aid, so take a packet and mix it with like a tablespoon of water. I haven't personally tried that, but I think it would probably work. Maybe tea or coffee, you could try that out. Oops. That kind of went on the back of my page and I didn't really like it, so try to pick it up a little. Whoops.
Oh, that even made a bigger mess.
You're right. Giada's here watching me today. How old are you, Giada?
6.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go with that and try to fix that somehow. Maybe I'll add some dark purple in there or something. But anyway, you guys, I don't want to bore you. Go ahead and you can get started on this. Feel free to do it whenever you want. Just upload your picture to me on Sunday before 11. And let me know if you have questions. Bye. Take care, you guys.